What's up, everyone, and thanks for joining me for another reaction video. So I know we've been going really hard with the music videos and everything lately, so I wanted to do something that was a little different from like the music videos, however, still something music related. So we're actually going to be watching a video from Alfo Media called 50 Music Fun Facts You Won't Believe. I don't necessarily know what to expect from this. I don't know if it's 50 like fun facts about music in general, or about actual like artists or anything like that. So I guess we're gonna end up finding out together. So before we get into this, if you haven't already, or you're new to the channel or anything like that, make sure to go down and hit the subscribe button. And if you do enjoy this, please make sure to hit the like button as well, so I know if this is something that you guys kind of want to see as going forward in the future. So without further ado, let's see if these 50 facts are really things that we won't believe.
This is just a fun little idea that I've wanted to do forever. I love trivia, I love music, and in this video, I'm gonna give you 50 rapid-fire music-related fun facts. Next time you're out with friends, at a barbecue, whatever, hit somebody with one of these factoids and they'll be super impressed. I promise. The only member of the rock band ZZ Top that does not have a beard is named Frank Beard. Jason Mraz, the guy that...
Okay, that's... I mean, I believe it, but that's just so coincidental. That's just ridiculous. And as someone who actually has a beard, albeit not a ZZ Top, like, long-ass one, that really is kind of interesting.
Saying I'm Yours is a very successful avocado farmer, and he's a big supplier for Chipotle Mexican Grill.
Really?
Dexter Holland, the lead singer of the pop-punk band The Offspring, has a PhD in molecular biology. Dolly Parton wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day. Although he's one of the most popular American musicians ever, Bruce Springsteen has never had a #1 hit song in the USA.
Now, I have a hard time believing that, because I know how much people love Bruce Springsteen, and he actually, even though it's not really my music taste or my genre or anything like that, he still does write some really good music. So it's actually really surprising that he hasn't had a #1 hit.
Bruno Mars's real name is Peter Hernandez. He got Bruno because his dad would tell him that he looked like the pro wrestler Bruno Sammartino, and he added Mars because girls would tell him that he was out of this world. Freddie Mercury was born on the island of Zanzibar off the coast of Tanzania.
Really?
He was raised as a Zoroastrian, which is one of the world's oldest religions, and he had 4 extra teeth. Elton John's Candle in the Wind spent 3 years on the Canadian top 20. It's Raining Men, one of the most iconic songs of the 80s, was written by Paul Schaefer, the band leader from The Late Show with David Letterman.
That one's actually really interesting. I did not know that. I know that a lot of those, like, some of the older songs and all that, and I guess some newer songs too, aren't really written by the person performing it. They're written by, other people. I know, like, who is a good one about that? I think Richard Marx actually was a really good songwriter and did some for other ones too. I could be way off on that, so I'm sorry if I am. But I know that there are writers who are like that. But I didn't know that it was the guy from the Tonight Show, though, or from Late Show with Letterman. That's interesting.
The feral son who was raised by monkeys
on the Wild Thornberrys
was voiced by Flea, bassist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Elvis Presley recorded well over 600 songs throughout his career, and he didn't write a single one of them. Toto.
Of course, that goes all the way back to, what, two facts ago? I should have just waited for that fact.
The group who sang Africa was the studio band on Michael Jackson's album Thriller. When the emo pop-punk band Jimmy Eat World first got signed, their label didn't really know how to market them. An early idea for their first tour was that they would play in 7-Eleven parking lots right after kids got out of school. The origin of Daft Punk's name came from a negative review of their previous band. A 1993 review in Melody Maker called them Daft, Punky, Thrash. The Elton John song Benny and the Jets isn't actually a live recording. Producers thought it sounded a little boring, so they added crowd noise and clapping to make it more exciting. That huge booming drum in The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel was created by setting up the drums in front of an elevator shaft, which helped make that deep echo effect. Alright, there's too much to even say about this group, and my whole channel would probably get demonetized if I showed you any of it, so if you're interested in some dark and creepy pieces of trivia, just go down the Wikipedia page of the Norwegian black metal band Mayhem. A letter that Johnny Cash sent to his wife June was voted to be the most romantic love letter ever written.
Gotta go back. Happy birthday, princess. We get old and get used to each other. We think alike. We read each other's minds. We know what the other wants without asking. Sometimes we irritate each other a bit. Maybe sometimes take each other for granted. But once in a while, like today, I meditate on it and realize how lucky I am to share my... Okay. Sorry, I read the first line. I was like, okay, I don't get what's really like incredibly romantic about that, but okay.
Sent to his wife June was voted to be the most romantic love letter ever written. Hilary Duff was the first musician under the age of 18 to have a #1 hit album in the 21st century. She was only 15 when she dropped Metamorphosis. We're nearing the halfway mark, so here's a quick lightning round on the...
Not really a Disney person, but I guess that makes sense.
Beatles. Around 2 minutes, 57 seconds into Hey Jude, you can hear one of the guys, most likely John Lennon, say f***ing hell because there was too much feedback in his headphones. The Beatles did not play any of the instruments that you hear on Eleanor Rigby. The Beatles released A Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale, Help, Rubber Soul, Revolver, and Sgt. Pepper's in under 3 years. The Beatles and the Beach Boys had a famous rivalry/inspiration loop. Rubber Soul was the album that inspired the Beach Boys to make Pet Sounds, and Pet Sounds was the album that inspired the Beatles to make Sgt. Pepper's. All three of these are often described as some of the greatest albums ever made. And John Lennon signed the paperwork that officially ended the Beatles at the Polynesian Resort at Walt Disney World. Jesse McCartney, the guy that sang the 2004 track Beautiful Soul, and Ryan Tedder, lead singer of One Republic, co-wrote the #1 hit song Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis. Eminem slept
Okay, I'm sorry. If anyone watches these and knows who any of those three people were, can you please let me know who they are? Because I don't think I've heard of any of them before.
Through the 2003 Academy Awards on the night that Lose Yourself became the first rap song to win an Oscar. He didn't think that he had a chance of winning, so he fell asleep watching cartoons with his daughter. At the height of Michael Jackson's career, he sang backup on the classic 80s hit song Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell.
No way.
The near 10-minute long gothic rock song.
Dude, I'm never gonna look at that song the same way again now. I had no clue that Michael Jackson was on that song. That is really incredible.
Song Bela Lugosi's
You better believe
Dead
I'm
was
breaking
the
that one
first
out
thing
at a
Bauhaus
party.
ever recorded together, and they did it all in one take. Flavor Flav was a musical prodigy. He's proficient in 15 instruments, and oddly enough, he also went to culinary school too. Johnny Cash...
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I could definitely see it being like classically like trained like that and being like trained on so many different instruments. Because I mean, look, I get it that like... You know, he's done reality shows and all that kind of stuff, but like, so have a lot of people who have a lot of talent in things that like this. And I know that like his music and all that, you know, doesn't necessarily scream like, oh, hey, here's a bunch of instruments that I'm playing right now. But still, like, he does seem like a really talented guy. I'm not going to lie.
His iconic song A Boy Named Sue was written by popular children's author Shel Silverstein. Blur is one of the UK's most prolific bands ever, but the only mainstream popularity they had in the US was Song 2, a track that was making fun of American grunge music.
And that's fair, because I will admit, yeah, I've listened to that song plenty of times. I used to love listening to that song, not realizing that was really more satirical than anything else. But that's really interesting, but I could definitely see it. Like, it's almost... Okay, it's not really almost, but I kind of liken it, you know, to like Weird Al doing... you know, something like... I forget what the name of the song is, but it's the one where he's making fun of Smells Like Teen pardon me, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. But that's what it is. I mean, like, it's not a bad song at all. It's just, you're kind of making fun of the fact that you really, things just kind of get jumbled up there. You can't really understand what what the singer's saying. So I could definitely see that. But that song 2 is still a really good song.
James Brown, known for his electric live performances, would have certain hand signals and noises that he would do that would signal his manager that one of the band members had made a mistake. For every mistake the manager wrote down on his clipboard, the musician's pay would get docked. John Bon Jovi's first professional recording was for a 1980 Star Wars Christmas album on the song R2-D2 We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Eric Clapton wrote the song Wonderful Tonight in frustration of his girlfriend at the time, who had made them late for a party because she was constantly changing her outfit. Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive was originally meant to be a B-side, and it's also the only recipient of the Grammy Award for Best Disco Song. They only had that category one time, and hey, it went to one of the best ever. Lana Del Rey has a degree in metaphysics. Before Freddie Mercury passed...
That's actually really interesting. Again, that kind of goes back to, like, what I said about Flava Flav. Like, that's great. You think that, like, he's not that great on all these instruments, and he's not... or he didn't go to, like, culinary school or whatever, just because, he was this rapper, and, like, that's what you know him as. But, like, he does other stuff outside of that. Same thing with Lana Del Rey right there. I mean, that's a really impressive degree to have, first of all. But, I mean, that's one of those things that you just wouldn't know unless you watch something like this or you're just, a huge mega fan or something.
Away, he got to see an early screening of the headbanging scene from Wayne's World. Brian May said that Freddie loved it because that's actually what the guys in Queen would do themselves. The Ramones were named after Paul McCartney's fake name that he would use to check into hotels, Paul Ramone. Van Halen's concert contract would require a bowl of M&Ms with, quote, absolutely no brown ones.
Okay, nope, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous right there. I'm sorry, I think the brown ones are better. They always made me think, it's just a chocolate M&M, even though all of them are technically the same flavor. But still, come on, those were always my favorite.
Because their operation was so massive, they needed the venues to come through perfectly, and the M&Ms were an easy way to see if they actually did everything correctly. Arguably, Black Sabbath's most iconic song ever, Paranoid, was made in about 15 minutes because they needed 3 minutes of filler on the album. The song In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida by Iron Butterfly was supposed to be titled In the Garden of Eden, but when Doug Ingle first sang it, he was very intoxicated, and it sounded like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Dimebag Darrell, the guitarist for Pantera, was buried with Eddie Van Halen's original black and yellow Bumblebee guitar in a Kiss casket donated by Gene Simmons.
That's really crazy, actually. That really is. I couldn't imagine that at all. And then, of course, the fact that Eddie Van Halen just passed away somewhat recently, too. That just adds on top of it. That's just really crazy. And Pantera's so great, too.
After a friend of Kurt Cobain's graffitied Kurt Smells Like Teen Spirit, which was a reference to a popular girl's deodorant, that's how we got the title for their biggest song ever. And then the first Foo Fighters album was made solely by Dave Grohl as a way to cope with Kurt's death. The vocals, bass, guitars, and drums, everything was performed by Dave, and he never expected it to make any kind of impact.
And that's really incredible, too, when you think about it. Just because, and I know a lot of people know this, but there's some people, because you see that meme going around all the time. It's like, it's so crazy how the drummer from Nirvana and the lead singer from the Foo Fighters look so alike. It's like... a lot of people don't know that he was the drummer for Nirvana, and he is really incredible on so many different instruments. Like, even if you go to like a Foo Fighters concert, dude, Dave will play so many different instruments. He's not just singing, not just playing guitar. Like, I know he's hopped on the drums before too, obviously, since he's been a drummer before. But it's really interesting, and I didn't know that about that, but that definitely makes a lot of sense. And it makes sense that it became so popular, too, because, I mean, you listen to, like, Dave Grohl's music. Dude, he's got so much, like, puts, like, so much heart into it. And if, he was doing that as a way to cope with Kurt's death, then that's just extra emotion that he threw in there. So that makes a whole hell of a ton of sense.
Songwriting royalties for Walkin' on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves are split evenly between the 4 members of the band. Because the song is still constantly played on the radio, and it's always getting licensed for commercials, movies, and TV, everyone in the band can still make a living off of their song from 37 years ago. The Italian composer Giuseppe Tartini once had a dream where the devil played him the most beautiful piece of music he had ever heard. He woke up, tried to replicate it, but couldn't remember it exactly. His piece is known as Devil's Trill Sonata, and Tartini claimed that he would forever trade his ability to play violin if he could hear that song one more time. Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath lost the tips of his middle and ring fingers in an industrial sheet metal accident. He didn't want to quit playing, so he created homemade thimble tips for his fingers.
Really?
These thimble-tipped fingers would essentially create the genre of heavy metal. The gorilla...
No! That is so crazy! Like, I've seen people use them before, but, like, I didn't know why or what they were for, really. That is so interesting. That is crazy. What the hell?
The song Dare was originally named It's There, but Sean Ryder's accent made it sound like he was saying It's Dare, so they just decided to change it to Dare.
True.
British actor Neil Morrissey has had 2 #1 hit singles in the UK thanks to his work as the voice of Bob the Builder. But Morrissey, the lead singer of The Smiths, never had a #1 in the UK. And the greatest fun fact of them all, Tom Lehrer was a songwriter, mathematician, and comedian that released a novelty song called The Old Dope Peddler in 1953. 60 years later, when someone representing 2 Chainz asked a then 84-year-old Tom Lehrer if 2 Chainz could sample the song, Tom responded with this: "As sole copyright owner of The Old Dope Peddler, I grant you motherfuckers permission to do this. Please give my regards to Mr. Chainz, or may I call him too?" I hope you enjoyed this video. All of these pieces of trivia are true, or pretty much true. There are a few technicalities in there, but who cares? Let me know which fun fact you enjoyed the most, and thanks for watching. Hey, thank you for watching that video.
That last one was really great, I will say. That last fact, I wish I would have been there when they read that letter for the first time when they got it back from him. That would have been so great. That was actually really interesting. I honestly didn't expect... Hell, I don't even know what I expected. I thought it was going to be just like facts about music in general, not necessarily about specific artists or bands or songs or, you know, things like that. And they had a really good spectrum of things in that video. I mean, you had some classical music, you had the rap at the end, you had heavy metal, you went back to some grunge rock. Like, there was a lot of stuff in there. I'm surprised he found, like, all those facts. But that was really interesting. But, you know, that's where I'm going to end the video here. But you guys, let me know if you like this type of video, because this was actually really interesting for me. And again, those are some facts that I'm going to bring to a party at some point. Or ones that, hey, you never know. If I end up on Jeopardy for some damn reason, might come in handy. But yeah, definitely let me know if you guys like that type of video. I'll definitely react to more things like that, especially if they're kind of like in the, you know, music industry and all that, because I know this is kind of turned into like a music video react channel. But guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Hopefully you guys found those facts pretty interesting too. Hopefully they're going to help you at your next party. Hopefully you guys aren't as introverted and shy as I am, and you need facts like this. But again, guys, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. If you guys really like the video, please make sure to drop a like. And if there are more videos like this that you guys think that I should react to, make sure to drop those down in the comments as well. And I'll make sure to add those to the playlist that I use to react to videos. So guys, thank you so much yet again. We'll definitely see you guys next time. And until then, have a great night.